is straying too far from ours, but just having heard what happened in Newcastle the other day with the Joint Regional Planning Panel allowing a development against fairly strong local opposition to it, I'm just wondering what that campaign fell down on that we might need to be alert to. It's probably a question for Andrew. Or anyone else.
Here he comes. He was heading down the new access.
I suppose my concern is the numbers. If 3 members on the panel from state and 2 only are from local council, then I'm doing the numbers, and I'm not sure if it's a majority that has to vote or if it's a kind of complete vote. So obviously they fell down despite 10 months of community opposition. And as I say, I'd just like to know what might have been some of the breaches that they could have shored themselves up against.
Look, the key, I couldn't talk about the technicalities of it, but the key thing with JRPP is they're independent. It's the reason why they keep it at arm's length. It's really an ICAC issue. So back in the bad old days, what would happen is, you'd have a group of local councillors, obviously not like Macquarie, but a group of local councillors who would approve a development. It's sort of, we've all seen the TV shows about it on the north coast of New South Wales where, someone gets a free holiday in someone's house and the developer sells it through. JRPP is there for the larger developments so that it keeps it kind of at arm's length, but they're independent, and the JRPP have a public voice. One of the members of JRPP is one of your local ward councillors here, Barry Johnson. So as a consequence, Barry has to be at arm's length of this process at the moment. So whatever you do, don't email him because you'll compromise Barry. But having one of your local ward councillors, this is his badge, on JRPP will be very helpful. And look, his views will count significantly. So it's designed to be an independent body so that you remove all of those corruption risks. And we've all seen people get season tickets to ICAC. It's not a good place to go. So it's really a probity issue, which is why they've got it for developments of over $20 million.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions out there? Come on up.
Yeah, hi, I live in Hudson Street. I've had a quick read of some of the material that came in with the DA. One was a social impact statement. From my reading of the Council's website at the minute, and this is one of the things that I wanted to clarify, was that it appears as if a social impact statement's mandatory. Is that correct? Yeah? The one that's been lodged, I read it, and it's many aspects of it didn't seem to make much sense. And the way the issues were addressed were not even poor, they were just, it wasn't even a serious attempt at addressing the issues. I suppose my next question is, there's a guide on the council website as to the range of issues that the social impact statement should cover off. Are they the sorts of issues that residents should cover in their submissions? Will council ask the developer to resubmit and do a proper impact statement? The guide talks about consultation being a key to social impact statements. Now, there may have been something happen, but didn't seem to be consultation. It just seems to be, the process hasn't been followed. So my question is, will council ask for that social impact statement to be redone, or will the council report just cover, in their assessment, where the inadequacies with that may be? Thanks.
If there are inadequacies in a social impact statement that council officers identify, the applicant will be asked for further information. But what I would encourage you to do is if you're aware of issues that aren't adequately addressed now, to identify them in your submission so that it doesn't so that it doesn't get lost, basically. I also just want to go back to the question about the Joint Regional Planning Panel. While there is, while there are 3 state reps and 2 council reps, as Andrew said, the Joint Regional Planning Panel is certainly not a political body, so hundreds of submissions on the same issue will not necessarily get their ear. The issue has to be a valid technical issue. So what you've got on your side is that you've got lots of people here, quite a lot of whom will have very good brains to be able to analyse bits of legislation and how it applies to this development. So I would encourage you to use your numbers for analysis as well as for community engagement and movement. Does that answer the question about the social impact statement?